Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Mari, and I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded a video, but there is an excuse. I work full time, and I also just started this certification program because your girl's trying to get another job. She's trying to do another career. And working full time and doing a career switch at the same time and trying to have a life outside of it, it's kind of hard. So I do apologize. And if you do want to see content from me more regularly, I do post on TikTok like 5 to 6 days a week, and I'm gonna have a tag below. But anyway, the topic of this video is all about keloid scars, and the purpose of making this video is because when I was thinking about different treatment options or what people do to treat their scars or their scar journey, I didn't really see that much videos. I saw a few videos, and that's basically it. So I'm making this to help people that are searching for answers and options. I'm also making this video for those of you who've just seen these on people and wanted to know what it is without asking them what's on their skin, which is not okay. Strangers don't owe you answers about their body. The only people you owe answers about your body is your doctor. What is a keloid scar? A keloid scar is a raised scar that's caused by an excess of protein, and that protein is collagen. And they typically feel smooth, shiny. Sometimes they can have lumps, hip dips and valleys and all those kind of things. But they feel pretty smooth, kind of rubbery. And sometimes they can be this color, they can be a lot darker. As you've seen in some of my older videos, my scar was a lot darker, like low-key black almost. Some people's scars are pink, and depending on the treatment that you do, and sometimes they can even be white, like hypopigmentation. I know this is technically like not white, but if you've seen in some of my other videos, and especially on TikTok, my older TikToks on my comedy page, you can see a lot of hypopigmentation around my scars, but I can get into that a little bit later. Who gets keloid scars? The majority of people that get keloid scars have melanin, but any race can get them, and they are genetic. And you don't know that you have keloid skin until you actually get a keloid. I don't know if this is something that they can test genetically, like as a baby, or I don't even know if that's considered something worth testing, because I don't know. I don't know if they do that. If you know that this is something that they test for, let me know in the comments. I don't know, I've never heard of it. And the way that you get them is by any kind of skin trauma, anything. It could be a pimple, it can be mosquito bites, it can be your cat scratching you, it can be you fall down and you scrape your knee, it can be elective surgery. Anything that causes you to have a cut, people with keloid skin, instead of our bodies just healing it and just letting it go, our body just over heals any type of skin trauma, and it just keeps building and building and building upon itself. And it doesn't stop. Some people it can stop, some people it'll raise for a little bit, be dormant, and then it can just start growing again. And this is something that can cause a lot of discomfort, a lot of pain, and a lot of itching. So if you do see somebody with keloid scars, have some grace, because they are probably in pain, like all the time. It is not a fun time when they're in the growing process. So when it is itching and when it is super inflamed and causing a lot of pain, that's when it's like awake, you know, and it's trying to continue to grow. Okay, so all about my keloid scars. So I'm just gonna do like a short little tour of my scars. So I have these scars here on my chest, all caused by acne. When they first started, they were super tiny, but they did not heal properly, as you can see. I used to have tons of acne, tons of body acne, and they just healed normally, but these just decided to keloid. And I also have one here on my shoulder that's caused by acne as well. And I have one here on my belly button that was caused by a belly button ring. When these first started and started hardening, I didn't really know what they were. After a while, like I would start to put like Mederma or like silicone patches, because I would just go online and see kind of, I don't know, I was just grasping at straws because I didn't know what it was. So for me, I did find out online that you can get steroid injections in them. So I went to a dermatologist to get them done. She was awful. Anyway, my first keloid scar was my navel ring. This was, I think I was 18 or 19. It was very painful. I'm just being real with you, because Unlike when you get a normal injection, you see how soft your skin is and how it just is just pliable. So when a needle goes through, of course it's not going to feel good, but there's give in the skin so the needle can go through. Keloids are hard. This is a hard texture, and also when it is inflamed and when it is in the growing process, this area is very, very tender to the touch. I'm talking even the shower touching it, necklaces, clothing, anything touches it, it just makes it even more painful. So just imagine you getting an injection in it, which is already kind of difficult for them to get in, and the steroid itself burns. So getting your keloid scar injections is not a fun time, except I do have a solution for that. So I did get a few rounds of injections in my navel area. It did start to kind of change its shape and get flat. Never went back perfect, as you can see, but it stopped it from growing and continuously itching and having sharp pains. And it did go dormant for a little while. As far as my chest goes, I went to dermatologists over the past few years trying to get them to inject my scars on my chest, but they were just so painful that like I could not take the dermatologist even trying to inject them. None of them offered any type of like lidocaine, nothing to try to numb it. They were just like, yeah, this is just is what it is. And I'm just like, there has to be a better solution. So over the next few years, I was just enduring the pain and discomfort of them just growing. And as the years gone by, the pain just got worse and worse and worse, like to the point that I was always in pain. And I don't know if you know anyone that's ever been in chronic pain. It was rough. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, it was very, very rough, to the point that even if I was sleeping on one side with my scars being scrunched together with me sleeping to the side, and then if I were to turn over the other way and open my chest, that was so extremely painful. And also they were all hurting, minus my belly button. My belly button was just itching only because I had treatments on it for a while, so it was not that bad. So I was like, okay, well, I need to do something else, because if I physically can't take these injections that's supposed to help me because they're so painful, why don't I look into the surgery option? So there is a surgery option for getting your keloids removed. However, getting them surgically removed causes a risk of them growing back. So if people are thinking, well, why don't you just cut them off and so they don't come back? No, because as I said before, any kind of skin trauma causes a keloid. So if you cut it without doing any treatment after, it's just gonna grow back 99% of the time. I was looking into Lexington plastic surgery. You've probably seen the ads for it. You're probably gonna see the ads for it now since you've clicked this video. And they specialize in keloid scar removal. So they take the scar off and then they do radiation afterwards. And radiation is supposed to stop the cells from growing, and that's used in cancer treatments. So they use that same technology for keloids because these are cells that just continue to grow. And I had a consultation with them. It was just very expensive, and they wanted to do one scar at a time. And at the time I was just in so much pain that I was just like, well, I don't know. I'm just gonna have to find another way and go through my insurance, because at that time my insurance wouldn't have been covered with them. I went through my insurance and I had a consultation with the plastic surgeon, and she explained that because my chest area is such, you know, everything is so close together, that they recommend doing one at a time and waiting like months in between getting them removed so that my skin has time to heal, so that it can grow some like elasticity in between, because they're so close together. And my shoulder would be okay because they could just like knock that off. But also she explained that since I would have to have radiation, I would need to have a consultation with the oncologist. I said, oncologist? And she said, yes, because it's radiation and those are the doctors that do that. And I'm just like, okay. So I had a consultation with the oncologist. She was explaining that any dose of that radiation that I would get would increase my chances of cancer later down in life, like significantly. And I was like, this is not what those other doctors told me. They were just like, yeah, everything's great. You know, we can get you in the books as long as you pay. None of them explained the risks of cancer to me. And she also said, because this is so close to my heart, my lungs, my breast, like she just would not feel comfortable doing this in these type of areas where I could potentially get cancer down the line, and she would feel very She would not feel comfortable with the fact that she could put me at risk for that. So I was like, well, I felt so defeated. And she just encouraged me to talk to the plastic surgeon or talk to a dermatologist to get them injected. And I'm like, but they're so extremely painful. So I said, well, I just thought about it after a while, and eventually I did make an appointment with the plastic surgeon. The surgeon, she was like still in surgery during the time of my appointment, so they wanted to reschedule either that or I could meet with another surgeon on their team. So that's what I did. And he was like, I really want to encourage you to try to get steroid injections. I know you said that they're painful. It's just because the radiation is really not something that you want to put yourself through, because you'd have to have multiple rounds of it and it would have to be a very high dosage, and basically still trying to encourage me to get injection. And I just kept explaining like I've had such a negative experience with injections because they are painful. Okay, so he said, well, how about I try this? I do this with my patients sometimes, and this is what I want to encourage any of you to do if you've tried to get injections and they were just like so excruciating painful that you just could not take it. So I said, well, F it, I don't have anything to lose. So he said I can put an anesthetic, mix it with the steroid, as well as put a freeze spray on your skin before I do it. And I was like, why has this never been an option for me? He mixed the anesthetic and I was just laying there like, okay, great, because I'm just like, I'm just bracing for the excruciating pain, right? And then he sprays my skin so much with like that liquid nitrogen or whatever that is. I guess they use it to freeze warts. And then he went in with the needle and put in the steroid. When I tell you I felt nothing, I felt nothing. When I got up at the table, I was just like, had I had this solution years ago, my scars would have never grown to the size that they have gotten. I would have never been uncomfortable wearing certain things. It just could have prevented so much had a doctor ever presented numbing this area for me and mixing anesthetic with the steroid solution, because steroid burns. So the way that steroid injections work, and you're not going to see the results immediately. You're going to see the results maybe 2-3 weeks later, then you're going to see the results. So 2-3 weeks later, my scars had gone down so much. The darkening has lightened so much, like significantly, and even touching them was not painful anymore. No more pain, no more itching, no more of that stinging random feeling. I can go in the shower and scrub my chest. I can wear my seatbelt without any pain. I can wear necklaces touching me without having any pain. So I wanted to continue that progress. So I scheduled an appointment with my dermatologist versus with a plastic surgeon, because they're a little bit more pricey. And I do want to preface that, yes, my scar did flatten, but also a potential side effect for getting your scars injected is hypopigmentation and hyperpigmentation, and your scar dipping. And it all depends on like the strength of the steroid. So after I did get that done, I noticed quite a bit of hypopigmentation where my skin lightened. So I can put like older videos showing how light this area was, and that was done late summer of 2022. So my skin color has just now kind of gotten back to its normal color, but the lightening is temporary. It's gonna come back. At least that's what my dermatologist said, and obviously it's gotten so much better. So after that, I did schedule appointments with my dermatologist to get these done, and I explained to her how the plastic surgeon made it less painful by mixing anesthetic and also spraying the numbing spray. So she prescribed me lidocaine instead. So an hour or two before my appointment, I would put the lidocaine cream on my scars, as well as putting like saran wrap, because that helps the product like really adhere to your skin. It helps it sink in. And then during my appointment, she would spray the cooling spray and then do my injections, and it's virtually painless. Like, it's not nearly as painful. And at first I stayed with the strength of the steroids that the plastic surgeon was doing for a few sessions with my current dermatologist. However, that was causing me a lot of like hypopigmentation. So I just got a lesser dose, which will just take more time for me to to just completely flatten, which is fine. It just will reduce the risk of me having the hypopigmentation. Because I had my scars injected maybe 2 weeks ago and I don't have any extra hypopigmentation and I have absolutely no pain. Granted, I do have great results from these injections, but I do want to preface that it may not necessarily be permanent. So it could stay flat for a while and maybe after a few months it can try to wake up again and start to try to grow, and I would just have to keep getting injections like periodically throughout my life, or this can actually stop them completely. It's unfortunately one of those things that's not studied very well. So as far as like a permanent solution, the only permanent solution where the highest chances of it never coming back is the surgery with the radiation. So that's really up to you if you really want to take that risk. But as for me, these injections with the combination with the lidocaine and the spray has made such a huge difference in my quality of life and having a pain-free life and just feeling comfortable wearing stuff with, like, my skin looks so good. And if it just means that I have to get injections every few months for the rest of my life, or maybe once a year to just keep it maintained, then that's something that I'm gonna do, because the risk of that radiation, not worth it for me. So that is it for this video. I hope that you found it informative and interesting, and hopefully it helps somebody out there who is thinking about getting surgery or weighing their options between surgery and injections. Or if you already get injections and you just want to find a more pain-free solution. I hope this really helped you. If you have any other questions about my keloids, please leave them down below. I can make another follow-up video. And I will have a hair video coming soon, as you can see. With that being said, please like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you love more daily content, more frequent short form content, I do make a lot of videos on TikTok quite frequently. So please follow me on there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.